Welcome to another Thursday, another set of Rokk players, and I have a lovely panel with me here tonight. Um, Welcome, chat. Welcome, panel. Let's start going around the table. Welcome, Wilson. How you doing?
Hi, what's up, folks? I'm good. I'm just trying to get over some allergies or something this month has brought me. They're not pleasant, but I'm managing. How about you, Bjorn?
I'm doing good. Been a busy week with kids being sick and kids having football practice and everything. So not as much time for gaming as I wanted to, but it's life, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's been the same for me. Just my own sickness.
yeah. SVG, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, bro. I'm like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks away from getting my pump removed. So yeah, moving along, bro.
Yeah.
You might see I'm a little jittery tonight. You know why? But yeah, moving along, bro. Doing
Yeah.
good, doing well.
Nice.
Hey, I beat Jedi Survivor, man.
Ooh.
Yes, I did.
How do
I
you
have-
like it then?
I have thoughts. I don't. I don't like it at all. At all. I love Star Wars, bro. I love
so depressing.
Star Wars. Live and breathe it. I hate that game, dude.
Oh wow.
Love the combat.
That
Combat's
tends to be the way, doesn't it? Like, tends to be the way people like die-hard Star Wars fans don't like the games, but then people who are just like, it's alright, kind of enjoy it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the first one because it was, you can explain the first one as Star Wars, but it's Dark Souls-esque. You know what I mean? It wasn't quite Dark Souls, but it gave you some difficulty, you know? What they did is they went back to the drawing board with the combat. They expanded all your powers, and they literally like doubled down on the Dark Souls thing. So not every combat encounter is Dark Souls, but every boss battle is. It's pretty significant change, but it's a slog. It's kind of hard. I turned it down to, pardon my language, I turned it down to baby bitch, and I beat it. So
And even then,
it's
it was
kind
a
of
challenge,
rough.
I reckon.
Very
What-
big challenge.
What mode was it you actually turned it to? It was Padawan, wasn't it, bro? You
Yes, it was. I was on Jedi Knight, and I was like, "Oh no!" I had to turn it way down. But
I mean, at some point, you just go like you get to the age where it's like I don't care about like the higher difficulty anymore. Like my default used to be hard. My default now is I go to normal for the first encounter, and then I go, oh, all right, I just gotta go easy from now on.
Yep.
Like at this point, I should just default to easy, but like at some sort of
what the game told me is it was like, "Hey, check the calendar, bro. You're getting old. You don't want to struggle. You don't want to struggle this much in a game. You want to
Yeah, no.
relax, have fun."
ain't got
Like-
no time for that.
That's right.
Yeah, Ray, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? Good to be here, man. Good to be on a panel with Petter, dude. I haven't seen him in a while, so it's good to be here with him. I've been waiting for this game to be free, and it was finally free on PlayStation Plus, and that was Ratchet and Clank Ripped Apart. Played a little bit of that amazing game. Been playing a lot of Marvel Snap. Played a little bit of BG3, Baldur Gate 3 with my mates. And I mean, the
It's
game
so good.
looks beautiful. Looks beautiful. So, yeah, that's
Game,
what I've been up
game of a
to.
lifetime.
Yeah, it is sweet. It is nice.
And welcome, Petter. Finally get you on the show. You and I have been talking about having you on for
Yeah.
6 months now, I think.
It's
been hard
Twitter,
to do
Elon
this.
Musk didn't want it to happen.
Finally. Yeah.
Like, my Twitter notifications just don't come through, and I'd see the message like 2 days after the show, and I'm like, oh, it's either that or just the kids. But I'm here now, so yeah.
Hell yeah, and I love that we have you on. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Actually, finally enjoying some game time. But nothing as cool as you guys. I've been playing Pokemon, the reliving my youth, and I've just rolled credits on Overcooked because that's how I roll.
Overcooked is a gem. It's one of those like
Yep.
yeah. Everyone has to play Overcooked at some point in their life, and I don't think it's possible to not like it.
No.
Except when you play with a couple of friends who don't know what you're doing, and then you lose a couple of relationships over that game.
Yeah.
Lose a
Yeah.
couple of
But it's worth
relationships
it.
over that game.
Me and I were playing it, and then one of the kids, we only got 2 controllers, and like, the kid's like, oh, can we have a go? I was like, yeah, fine. I was just getting dead stressed. Like, just give it back to your mum. Just, that's not how you make a burger. Stop it.
I mean, kind of thinking, there is a game. One of my favorite games for the PSVR 1 that we have is actually it's called Diner Duo, and it's basically a VR version of Overcooked. We have one
Nice.
person making burgers in VR, and then the other one doing like taking orders and delivering the orders to the tables.
Oh,
It's
wow.
so fun. Because I mean, you know, if you leave the burger on the stove for too long, you burn it, and I mean, it's basically a simplified version of Overcooked, but since it's VR, it becomes 10 times harder.
Yeah.
It's so good. So yeah, it's an amazing style of style of games. So yeah, I mean, it's been there hasn't been that much, like there hasn't been really been any big stories this week. So I figured we'd go into some news because last week we spent all the show talking about the ROG Ally and didn't get to cover any news whatsoever. So to recover from that a little bit, let's have a chat about some news, I feel. And let's begin with maybe the main story, so to speak, of this week. The first game in the partnership between NVIDIA, GeForce Now, and Microsoft, one of many partnerships, has now launched. Gears 5 is out on GeForce Now today, and on May 25th. So that's what's that, next week? In 1 week from now we'll be joining. Yeah, Deathloop, Grounded, and Pentiment joins as well. However, it's just the Steam versions for now. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Go
It
ahead.
kind of like, it was like a bittersweet thing, wasn't it, when the news dropped? And people were like, "Oh, that's cool," but I was like, "Oh, I don't own that version of the game," and for some reason on Steam it's more expensive than anywhere else as well.
Yes,
So like,
I have
it
Game
kind
Pass,
of
I
like,
don't
yay!
buy it on
Oh,
Steam.
There's already that conflict of interest, man. We all have Game Pass, so who wants to go out and buy it just to play it on GFN Fidelity? I mean, is it worth it? Is it worth
No.
it? I don't know.
And I mean, they do say they will continue to in the coming months to bring games from the Steam or Epic Game Stores game versions of the games to the GeForce Now. They will also keep in the background on at the same time work on bringing support for games purchased through the Microsoft Store. And while they say purchased, I'm pretty sure that there's no differentiating thing between, like, if you have Game Pass, then you have a license to the game on the Windows Store, right? Like, you do.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works, meaning that you, like, that counts as you having bought it. So when that comes live, I think Game Pass will work. We don't know yet. No one
It'd be
confirmed.
interesting to see,
I
right?
would have
Like,
waited. I would have waited until Game Pass.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's like I'm still gonna play it on the Game Pass. I'm just saying. But
Yeah.
I would have launched Halo. I would have thought they would have came out instead of Gears.
Yeah.
I thought they should have came out with the franchise Halo or something.
Halo's their prize egg, though, mate. The Halo is their current prize egg. That's kind of giving it away to share.
It's one
with
of those
everybody.
IPs.
You want to make a first
Yeah.
impression, man. You
That's
want to make
true,
a
though.
splash.
Yeah.
You go
Couldn't it be
go
something
big or
like-
go small.
I mean, what engine is Halo running on? Is it a proprietary engine? Whereas Gears is probably on Unreal, I think.
They run on their own engine, that 343 engine or something, whatever it's called.
Could be something like that then. Could be that the which is I mean, like, I think the GeForce Now onboarding team probably knows, like, at this point Unreal games is probably quite, like, yeah, they know how to work them. They know how to check the settings. I'm not really sure what goes into.
Oh wow!
To...
Rudigs is saying we got it backwards. He's saying that Halo is an IP they purchased. Gears is an IP Microsoft created from the ground up.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
could also be that Halo isn't as big on PC as Gears is.
Technically, but we all know that Halo is the prize baby of Microsoft, whether or not it was their original invention. It is Microsoft's prize baby. It has been since I was.
It definitely sold a lot of original Xboxes. That is a fact. That is a fact.
But couldn't it be that then? That the fact that Halo is really big on Xbox, on PC though, maybe Gears is bigger. I don't know. I haven't really looked at those numbers. I'm not even sure if they are any numbers.
I mean,
I wouldn't know, yeah.
when I went to the Xbox 360 launch, there was two games that, I mean, they just went crazy, and that was Halo, and believe it or not, Gears. Gears was a pretty big, huge deal. But I don't know. Either way, can't go. I mean, don't get me wrong. Gears of War, great game. $40 at Steam. $40 at Steam. Steam, can you give us a discount?
Probably
It
not.
would have been nice to have it coincided, wouldn't it? Like, it's available through Steam on GFN and Steam discount at the same time, but you can't have it all, can you, I suppose?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And apart from Gears, I mean, first of all, the last week or last couple of days to grab their 40% discount on priority if you don't have GeForce Now at the moment. But then apart from that, they're also bringing over some. Let's see, what else was it? The Outlast Trials is joining as well.
I have
Nice.
not even
love-
heard of that one.
I
personally.
love. I have jumped playing Outlast. Oh my god. Oh yeah.
Someone want to fill me in?
Very
What's
scary.
Outlast? What is it?
Run for your life.
In 3 words, nope, nope, nope.
Jump scares galore. It's not for me.
That might have
let's
just
see.
turned me on to the game.
running underneath the house and splashing water with I don't know, something. I don't want to spoil it, but something very scary running after you.
Yeah, it's
Right.
horror, very scary horror from what I've heard. So yeah, this week we get Gears 5, The Outlast Trials, and Tin Hearts.
Tin Hearts.
do we-
Yes.
Do we know if Starship Troopers is going to end up on GFN? Because that just released in early access, and it's like a tower defense, like
Probably they have Starship Troopers, the RTS game on GFN, but they
But
don't
this is an
have
FPS.
the FPS one.
yeah.
That would be nice.
I mean, if
That
they
would
have
be
one
nice.
of them, I would assume that the other one is probably in the
Oh my
in the
god,
to-do
this
list.
game is awesome.
Tin
Well, from what
Hearts.
I
Right,
God.
it is from the creators of Fable, the original creators of Fable, and it's meant to have that
Hello?
same witty flair that Fable always had in its original days. I've not seen a lot of it, but this game I'm super excited about.
Yeah, it looks really cute.
Hmm
So yeah, definitely one worth checking out. And let's see, I mean, it's also honestly quite cheap. So 24 euros with currently with a introductory 20% discount. So 30 bucks.
Is it a solo game only, or is there any multiplayer aspects to it?
Single player. It's tagged as there is no tag for multiplayer.
I'm the Nutcracker.
Yeah, single player. Yeah, I mean it looks like a really cute game.
Yeah, it does.
Out on GeForce Now. And I did ask, considering that like I did get a notification earlier this week that don't expect any new games coming to Boost Story this week. And then it turned like they did still release some games. I think these like Steel Rats, Metal Mutation, Benedict Fox. These games weren't here last week, so they are new. So some random indies coming there, but they did also say like we're working on the Microsoft things behind the scenes. So I'm assuming
Yeah.
a bit of
So
call before we get some.
all the weird with Boosteroids at the minute is that like, they're removing games to make room for new games, but then adding more games in between rather waiting. I don't know what's happening. I mean,
they're-
storage
I think
issues.
they're adding
So.
some small games where like squeezing in
Yeah.
them on the hard drives. They are probably continuously increasing the storage size of their master storage. But at some point, they while also preparing the big new batch of Microsoft games, it's gonna be interesting to see how. I mean, because obviously GeForce Now adds like one or two games a week from Microsoft, whereas I mean we don't know how Booster will do it. So I think it will be interesting to see. Did hear some rumors about maybe like they're aiming to release them in June, which is around the corner. So who knows? Interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I would like to kind of like staggered the deals as well, because obviously Microsoft have made all these deals, which hasn't really worked in their favour so far because the way they wanted to go, thanks to CMA.
They were all made on that Activision Blizzard. They were all made those deals to acquire Activision Blizzard at the end of the day. It was to make them look like they weren't trying to be so. We just want to acquire everything, but I wonder what they're going to do with. I've been wondering what are they going to do with all these deals now that they've been blocked. Like, if the block stays, that is, are they still going to?
Yeah.
I mean, they
got to
have
keep to them somewhat, but are they still?
They have said. I mean, they could. I mean, in the GeForce Now deal, they can't really break it off.
Yeah.
There is clauses for them to break off the other ones apparently. However, they have stated that they are like, no matter what happens with the deal, we're still committing to these deals because with the acquisition. We're still committing to these deals because at the end of the day, this is about bringing our games to a broader audience.
Yeah.
All right, Bjorn.
It makes sense. They are still benefiting, aren't they? Like, if people go out now and rush to buy Gears on Steam, then they're still benefiting at the end of the day. But
yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if they've got like different games with different providers as well. Wonder what, like, if they've kind of staggered it, so GFN get X games and Boosteroid get Y, so they're not all overlapped. It's just the same news, but a week later with different providers.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see as time goes on.
Well, Bjorn, they're going to do the showcase June 11th, and it's going to be Starfield Direct, man. What do you think most people's thoughts are going to be after the Direct? Do you think it's going to be hype, optimism, or do you think people are going to be worried?
I think it's going to be hype, but with I mean, people are probably going to see a lot of honestly a lot of glitches, but then also going to be like, oh, but it is Bethesda. I mean, do you guys remember when Oblivion or Skyrim first launched?
Yes.
Skyrim was
broken messes, all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Starfield is not going to be any difference. However, that was never the thing about these games. The thing about these games, like the Bethesda games, has always been like, the scope and the scale of this world that you can now do adventures in. So I think people are going to be blown away by that aspect and be hyped for that, and they'll be like, it's still buggy as hell. We hopefully they can fix some of this before launch, but we're not expecting them to fix half of these.
You are correct, but within the industry, they've lost the benefit of the doubt. They honestly have. So it would be interesting to see how gamers react to those glitches now rather than then.
Yeah. I mean,
it'll be interesting.
It's a very different world now compared to 10 years ago when they launched Skyrim, for example.
And games don't even release finished anymore, ever.
Exactly.
So.
No. You know what? Back then, Bethesda used to have the reputation of they would release glitchy messes, but you accepted it because it was Bethesda. They were like the exception to the rule that games came out made, right? But you accepted it because their games were really good for what they were.
Yeah,
so
but I think
you
Fallout
dealt with those
76...
glitches. Now every game comes out broken. Like, either is this going to be more broken than what it used to, or is the brokenness just not going to be as?
Well, they're going to set a new standard of brokenness.
Yeah, they certainly went back to the drawing board and found some room for improvement in 76.
I mean, there's a difference between a game getting patches and a game being broken. Just AI, just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean the thing with Bethesda games has always been like they are masters of building worlds that are fun to do adventure in. Like the main quest of Skyrim, most side quests aren't that good.
No,
the writing isn't that good.
Everything's gone.
It's amazing.
It's very it actually boggles the mind. Like Skyrim was all about that exploring, finding a dungeon. What's around that corner? Oh no, it's a skeleton. You kill him, and then you learn a little bit about what transpired there years before. There's no, I don't know. It's if you go back and play Skyrim now, you can kind of see the old game design. Is what I'm saying. I don't think people can get that excited for that type of game now. They tried it with 76 with no NPCs and just
Morrowind and Oblivion had some pretty good.
Morrowind was great. Yeah. Well, that's what they're really good at, is handcrafting a single player story and giving you all kinds of options to get your tasks complete.
Yeah, and then an amazing world to explore around it, where that's interesting and fun to explore. And I think one of those, like, I have a feeling that Starfield might be on one hand it feels like maybe it's a bit more than they can chew, but at the same time this is a passion project for them. Like Bethesda's, they've always wanted to make.
This is Todd Howard's baby in a sense.
Yeah,
it is his baby.
And the second you see a studio do like their passion project, that's when that's when quality comes through. It's the same with Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is a massive, everyone working on that is massive fans of Harry Potter, and that shows in the game in the end result. I mean,
100%.
People can love really enjoy the work they do and be proud of the work and try to make the best game they can. But if they're passionate and burning with a burning passion for the thing they're making the game about, that will affect the end result.
All this game has to do for me, the only thing it has to do is do Fallout 4 in space. If they can accomplish that, I'm happy. I mean, to be honest, I'm quite happy with that. Now I know they've promised a whole bunch of stuff, like 1,000 planets and all that stuff. Give me 10 that are fundamentally changed for me being there, and I'll be a happy camper.
Yeah, 10 good ones is better than just 1,000 of just the same crap, different planet. Yeah.
But this is the thing, we've all seen what AI has been doing just on the consumer end for the past few months. I wonder what AI they are using in these games now to program these areas. I mean, games that's similar to Starfield, No Man's Sky, is infinitely procedurally generated, right? And it's now gotten to a point after years and years of a rocky start. It's meant to be a really good game. I've not played it, but it's meant to be a really, really good game. Starfield, if they've got good AI doing this procedural generation, who cares? Thousands of worlds don't have thousands of good stories each. I mean, that's hopeful thinking. It's proper hopeful thinking, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
There you go, better.
Woo!
Sorry, I didn't get the memo. It's there.
No, but I think I mean I really like the there was I saw a video earlier this week about it was basically a Skyrim mod that took basically 3 AIs. One AI was voice to text, so your voice being made transcribed into text and being sent to the second AI, which was ChatGPT, that was being running and being trained on the dialogue in the game of Skyrim, and then that being response then being sent to a voiceover AI that was basically taking the character voices from the game and trying to create new sentences with those voices. It sounds really the audio quality of those were kind of bad, but I mean still they managed to create a concept where you could in your own voice into your microphone speak to your NPC, any NPC in the game. That NPC would then it would take 20 seconds of processing, and they would say a response back, and they would remember what if you they would know the game state. They would know which quest you have done and respond accordingly, and you could have a proper discussion, philosophical discussion around the camp, around the inn table with Lydia if you wanted to.
Have any of you seen Free Guy? Have any of you seen Free Guy?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I just this doesn't feel safe, man. This doesn't feel safe.
But the way I see it, man, is one day we're not an AI is going to do stuff for us. You're going to talk to an AI and they're going to build the entire game. They're going to have a certain amount of resources, and they're just going to make it on the fly. There's not going to be programmers. There's not going to be any of that shit. The AI is going to go, okay, here's the terrain. All right, here's the story. All right, here's the... They're going to build it all for you on the fly to whatever reasources they have available. It's going to happen, currently, and it's going to be in the cloud.
Currently, there are AI tools that can do all of those things, but will do it separately, and 90% of the time, the results will not be that good. But at the end of the day, then you can't we are slowly getting there. But even a single person, a single modder can create a proof of concept where you can speak to your NPCs with your own voice and get decent responses back already. So yeah, I mean it's gonna be. I feel like with the right with the right usage of these tools, I think Starfield could be decent at launch. And with any Bethesda game, you don't want to play it on console. You want to play it on a PC where you can install mods, because I mean that's when Bethesda games with mods are amazing. Bethesda games without mods are pretty okay.
Well, and adding mods is basically pretty easy. With that AI stuff, you'd be able to be like, I want this kind of weapon in the game, and then they just put it in the game for you. But that is something that Bethesda has shined, which is leaving their games open so that people for years can keep building the world the way they see fit, and that's why Skyrim has lasted so long.
Yeah. And they have said, Todd Howard said in the interview he did with Lex Friedman that back when they made Skyrim, they just they made the best game they could, and they didn't consider it lasting this long. Now that they're making the Starfield and the next Elder Scrolls, they are it's being made with the in the back of their mind they're thinking are we building a game that can last 10 plus years, and how is building for that 10 plus years of lifetime for a game changing the way we build the game? They are thinking about that actively, which I think will help it in the long run. But yeah, I think most people are probably going to be hyped for the showcase. After the showcase, there's always going to be a subset of the community who's kind of disappointed with it, and I don't think this one is going to be any different.
Yeah, and then you get your console wars after it. Like your PlayStation fans laughing at it, but it's just the same old thing, innit? But yeah, like you said, this one won't be any different. It'll be exactly the same. You get your people who are die hard all for it, people who are a bit miffed and annoyed by what they've seen, and then people who just laugh at it and go, actually, I bought the PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, though, when it does drop, I don't have to pay for it.
Yep.
I have Game Pass. I'll be able to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a nice addition.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, speaking of Game Pass, some more games joining. In the category of cloud Game Pass games, it's only 2.
Okay.
According to this list, there has, as usual, you never know with these. There's been plenty of cases
True.
where a game is listed as not coming to cloud and then being on cloud.
True.
So, but games we know will come to cloud: Massive Chalice and Railway Empire 2. Whereas Cassette Beasts, Ghost Lore, Chicory, the whatever game, I can't really see what. Hang on, what game is that one?
Yeah, sounds cool, shall we?
Yeah, let's see. Is Massive Chalice Cassette Beast? No. Eastern Exorcist was the one I didn't know with the Japanese symbols. FIFA 23 and Planet of Lana is joining Game Pass this coming week. Week plus 1.5 weeks. Honestly, I mean, I don't get it. Why don't EA allow FIFA 23 on cloud?
Well,
I mean,
it normally does come to Game Pass on the cloud like about this time of year with EA Play. I'm surprised this one hasn't. I don't know if it's because it's like
FIFA, Madden, and NHL has never been on any cloud platform except Stadia, and Boosteroid. But that and I think that's honestly, I think that might be weird legal repercussions from like, oh, but the FIFA license is only specifically included for console and PC and mobile, not for cloud. Or something like that. Like, and the lawyers is like, let's not risk it. Let's just ignore cloud for now, which is annoying because I do want FIFA 23 on my Game Pass cloud on xCloud on my phone. That would be so nice, but
I mean, phone FIFA sounds great, but aren't we getting a little bit bored of these new FIFAs each year, which are the exact same game?
Well, this is the last FIFA now, isn't it?
Never.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
this is but also I agree with Ray.
Well said, Ray.
Wilson, hush your mouth.
I'm happy play. I'd be happy playing FIFA 21 or FIFA 20 still. But I mean, like the difference between 23 and 22 is basically nothing. However, FIFA is always fun. Like it's the game I played the most this week. I played I have this manager career mode that I've started up a couple of weeks ago, and every now and then I sit down and play like 2 or 3 games before bed.
I'm with Rouster. So nice. I'm with Rouster on this one, 110%.
I'm fine with all sports games.
Sorry. I'll give you the Canadian. Sorry. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. No, but like it's.
I always enjoy FIFA. Like you said, I don't mind playing the older ones on like a career, but I think like with management ones as well, or like definitely online and your Ultimate Team and stuff like that. You do want the latest one, but with like the player career, I don't mind because it's just yourself and it's not. I don't care like the new signings other than me. Do you mean? But yeah, I always enjoy getting the new one. But this is the last one. FIFA did. So I don't know if you've seen like the email. They said that in June, I think they're going to show some footage of this EA.
Yeah.
I can't remember what's called now. EA FC thing. Yeah.
Football FC or something like that.
Yeah, EA Football FC or something weird.
I mean, the reason was quite clear. The FIFA organization did ask EA for $2 billion for another $2 billion a year for the license, and they were like, it will be cheaper for us to go to each individual club or each individual league and ask and buy the license of that. That will cost less. So let's just
be interesting to see how it turns out now. So
yeah, I mean, I think it will be fine.
I mean, you saw what happened to Pro Evolution when they tried to change it up. It didn't do too great.
Yeah.
At the same time,
eFootball.
Yeah, but at the same time that like, I mean, this will be the same game. Like this will be FIFA 24, except it will no longer have the FIFA name, but it will still have all the teams because they have actually gone out to every single league and asked them for the licenses. So, but for EA, they are now they now have, instead of having one license with FIFA and then FIFA having a license with everyone, they have like probably like 100 different licenses now for all these leagues and all these players and clubs, which is honestly probably better in the long run because I mean the less money we give to FIFA, the better. Because I mean, I think it was John Oliver who said in one of his shows about when he talked about FIFA and the World Cup, and like, you know how everyone has to, people love sausages, but you don't really want to know how one is made. FIFA is my sausage. Let's talk about my sausage.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's one of those.
What?
Yeah.
It's after 9:30 in the UK. It's allowed now.
Okay, moving on to sausage.
Yeah.
Moving on then. PlayStation. We didn't cover this. This was last week's news, but we didn't cover it then because we were talking Ally instead. Ray, you already mentioned it. This. Some new games coming, right?
I jumped up when I saw Ratchet and Clank went and it's only about 30 something gigabytes. So I put it on my it's on my PS5. Played a little bit, and loving it. And it's still, it's still $69.99. It's $70 still $70. This game came out in 2021, but I mean PlayStation Plus.
Wait, what, a 2021 game that's $70? Just as a slight digression, that is something that should be queried. I'm just saying. What?
Yeah, I mean, hey, that was a no-brainer. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna download it. And I'm playing it, and it is great. Crank up all the settings. It's a beautiful game. Beautiful game.
Yeah, and but then apart from that, we're also getting a lot of other games. So if you have PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium, you get, as we said, Rifts Apart, Humanity, which is a game I have honestly missed. You are a Shiba Inu shark with commanding a massive marching crowd to jump, turn, push, float, shoot, and climb their way to salvation. So it's weird ass puzzle game. Also has VR support. Then Watch Dogs Legion, which is honestly an underrated game. It's really good. I like Watch Dogs Legion. It's, I mean, it is. I mean, it is what it is, but it's good for what it does, and I like it. Dishonored 2, which I've heard is really good. I've never actually played the Dishonored game. It's been on my to-do list for way too long, and I was I should, but now
games.
The creators of Redfall, I believe.
Yes. And then Dishonored 1 as well, or maybe this is the DLC. But yeah, Dishonored Death of the Outsider and Dishonored 2 is both joining PS Plus Extra and Premium. Then Sakuna of Rise and Ruin, which is a great title, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise. And lastly, we have the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Tomb Raider Rise of the Tomb Raider, and also Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So all three of them.
Excellent games.
Yeah. Gorgeous games, excellent games, really good. And then Bus Simulator 21, because I suppose that's fun. I don't know, never played it. Evil Within 2.
Hey, that's a good one.
Like, it's a long list of games, guys.
Hey, that bus driver simulator, you literally have to, like, you got to drive and stuff, but you got to, like, go in the back and be like, turn the radio off. Quit smoking! Like, get off the bus!
I'm interested,
it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Are you joking? Are you pulling my leg as
No.
videos?
I suppose they've got to put some extra stuff in there. I mean, you can't just like drive around from bus stop to bus stop. So I suppose the extra bit is.
You're dealing with the
When
public,
you put
man.
it like that, I kind of keep like, now I'm debating like maybe that's the game that makes me pull the trigger on finally getting PS Plus.
Yeah, maybe this is the title.
like seriously, like just experiencing what that is like.
Another one rides the bus.
I'm gonna have so much fun doing that. Thymesia as well, and
tough soul game.
Yeah, no for me, but I love that. That was more of those. Rain World, which seems to be puzzle platformer, and Lake, which
loved Lake.
yeah, a lot of people love that one.
Unexpectedly loved it. During it was not something I would have thought of like it, but honestly, if you have PS Plus, check it out because you probably wouldn't want to play it, but when you do play it, it's a good game.
It's interesting.
I think it's going to be.
If you've ever played any of those Life is Strange games or Road 96 games, it's like another one of those where you can get wrapped up in the story of just people's lives. It sounds silly, but it's just like watching a TV show that you've got some interactive
You're the new local mail carrier in a small town.
Mm-hmm. It's also mail lady simulator.
Say Wilson delivered his package all over that region.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, all around the lake.
Whoa.
Moving on, Conan Exiles as well, online survivor game from Norway. What else we have? Rune Factory 4 Special. Grow crops, raise monsters, catch fish, cook up tasty dishes. Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. This has to be like the longest list of games having added to PlayStation Plus ever.
Yeah.
This list is seriously longer than the launch list.
At first, I was going to knock them a little bit. Because there's nothing really new and big that shouts out at you. But at the same time, they've got a handful of bigger games from previous years at the top of there, and this list doesn't want to stop. I mean, this is a lot of additions.
Seriously, Soundfall is only for Asia and Japan, but that is a fast-paced, music-based dungeon crawler, which combines looter shooter action with the rhythm-based gameplay. That also sounds awesome. Mm-hmm. And then obviously the premium streamed classics: Siphon Filter, Logan's Shadow, Blue Dancer, Lineage of Light, Pursuit Force. I've not heard of any of those games. Ghostbusters, the video game remaster. And then that's finally the list over. Dang, this is a massive list.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, people always talk about Game Pass being the value for gaming. I mean, PlayStation clearly want to be stepping up their game in terms of that, and they're showing it right here.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, some feedback to Sony if they're ever watching this, which I don't think they will be. Like this image that we have on screen right now, that's what they lead with. That least like I thought it was maybe 2 or 3 games other than those in that list. This there were so many games in that list that should have been in this image.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bad marketing. I'm allergic to that. No. But yeah, so it's hang on. Rudix is mentioning something. We PlayStation removed 20 PS4 classics at the top of the month. Okay, so they're replacing a lot of them. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that's. I mean, hopefully the people who wanted to play those have played them by now. Otherwise, I guess they are still available on PlayStation like to buy. But moving on. So, I mean, those of you who have followed this show for a while, you know that I love Embark Studios, despite the fact that they haven't actually released any game yet. The Finals is their first game to come, coming soonish. It is I mean, some of you guys here have played it, and you SPG, you played the final, right? And liked it.
Played the what?
The Finals, didn't you?
The Finals?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Who here has played the Finals? Let's start there.
Wait. Was that the free to play game on Steam or early access game? Or?
Yeah, it was like an open beta, which was like a arena shooter where you like try to, you get coins for each kill, but you could also get a lot of coins for like finding a box and taking it to a checkout point and defending that for a while.
No, I didn't do that.
Gorgeous arena shooter, like taking on the small level CODs of the world. Really cool game that is supposedly coming soon. But they're also making, I think this blog post has some images that it looks pretty good. So yeah, like when you kill something, you splashes coins out of them.
Oh wow!
Yeah, here we go. This is this is a glimpse of that.
I don't know why, but that we were talking about Bethesda earlier, and it reminds me of their bottle cap mines and stuff in Fallout. The way the coins would just shoot out everywhere, or the bottle caps.
But I mean, take a look at this one. Like the destructible environments, the graphics of this,
Ooh. That's
so that
pretty.
it's really pretty.
Nice.
And it was like as Jem says, it was
That looks
really
dope.
fun. Like I'm really bad at that style of game, but I enjoyed my time, the little time I played with. So Embark Studios is for those like they are also making a game called Arc Raiders. We did receive an update of this week. But Embark Studios is basically a like 250 something Stockholm-based studio with like drop offs from Dice mostly. Like the founder of the studio is the previous CEO of Dice, and also I think was CEO of EA for quite a while as well, Patrick Södlund.
Oh wow.
So like there's some really big names over there. They're doing some really cool like technology things with like AI tools for doing like creating art assets through this process called photogrammetry, where you take 1,000 pictures of an object and then you stitch it together into a 3D model, which looks really good. Which is how like Battlefield and Battlefront 2 looks so gorgeous. That takes like 3 to 5 days to make, whereas they have an AI tool that does it in 15 minutes.
Well, that's what they're implementing into the creation engine. Or is that what it's called? I forget what it's called. But that's what they're implementing into the Bethesda toolkit that they make games with.
Oh wow.
And like this little spider bot that we see in this little GIF here, that is like that one taught itself how to walk using machine learning. So they didn't animate that. They basically told it, this is your the physics of the world. This is your skeleton. Get from point A to point B. Figure it out. And then when they had that figured out, export that animation, put it in the game. Done. So they basically just they didn't animate much of that. That happened throughout over a weekend while no one was working.
In the next 30 years, we're gonna have so many little friends to go fetch us a beer. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah. So they're doing some really cool things, and everything they're doing is like they're also building so much like open source R&D stuff as well, and running everything on the cloud. Like the whole development process is running on Google Cloud. So this thing Quilkin was something they launched together with Google and the Stadia team, and the Google Cloud team, which is like a open source proxy for multiplayer servers so that people don't get hacked. So yeah, they're making some really cool games. So, but they did also say, release post, what's next for Arc Raiders? One of the things is you can now sign up for playtesting on Steam for a chance to join the upcoming closed alpha. And they now, this game had a trailer come up on I think the Game Awards last year. Or well over a year ago. But the one thing they have mentioned is it's a PvE game. It's going to be free to play. You squad up with 2 friends, so it's squads of 3, and it's like post-apoc game and looks gorgeous. So you're trying to find loot and get out with that loot, and then have other players try to stop you. So yeah, it feels like this could be a hit. At least it looks like it. Graphically,
looks gorgeous.
It looks gorgeous. It looks like a possible hit. But I mean, how many games are we starting to see now with these looter shooters in these small squads where you get to slowly gear up each time you go into the level? I don't know how much more the industry can take it without the trend running dry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
multiplayer in Battle Royale has eaten the gaming whole industry. It really has.
People have only got the have Fortnite nowadays. Beyond Fortnite, I mean, no one's really interested in these Battle Royales nowadays. Warzone 2 was a flop compared to 1. PUBG is dying off in droves. It's
true.
We all know Super Animal Royale is the GOAT, though, right? Super Animal Royale is the best.
Yes,
right?
It is actually pretty decent, yeah. But like this one feels more close to maybe Rainbow Six Extraction or the Dark Zone in Division 2. But a whole game built around that. And
like
so.
The Dark Zone in Division 2, that makes sense. But again, it's just this looter shooter gearing up. I don't know how much more. Personally, I'm one, and I don't know how much the rest of you people as gamers and consumers feel about it.
That's why so many people are excited for Starfield, because it's one of those single player adventures we've been dying for so long. Because really, we don't get much of them. Yeah, we got Survivor, lately, but that's really not an RPG. But we just, I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to BG3 and Starfield. I think that's the next couple of things that are on the horizon that I'm super interested in seeing, be completed.
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, if you're interested in trying out Arc Raiders, you definitely go onto their Steam page and sign up for the playtesting, because, I mean, it's a bottom. Why not? Because this looks gorgeous,
great.
and
it does.
Like, everything I see from Embark is like, oh, this looks so amazing. Like, tech-wise, they are, like, I think they might be one of the most cutting-edge studios out there.
One to watch, definitely.
So yeah, definitely one to watch. I agree. But yeah, so they released a bit of an update for that.
This is a slight digression, but Bjorn, SPG, could I pass this to you and just ask a question? I don't know if you've heard about any Baldur's Gate updates recently, or any new developments with their creation of the game, because it's due August, right? It's August. It's due to come.
Yeah, at the end of August, though.
But that's approaching, man. It's a couple of months away. Away. And I know you guys are just as excited about the game as I am, if not even more.
I mean, the video I put out last week about Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, I love the fact that it did really well, because I am so hyped for this game. I in the video I dub it the best game made to date.
I agree.
It's not even done.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Totally with you.
I totally agree. I am watching. I am helping. I'm helping Callie Drew play through his first playthrough, and watching him make his choices, mistakes, and it's just amazing, man. There's so many variation to that. Now, if turn-based combat is not your jam, you may hate it. But give it a chance, because it's amazing.
A good turn-based combat, though.
It is. No, it is. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the last update we did get was February 23rd. So, and I mean,
it'd be patch 10. It'd be patch 10. So
yeah, we might get one last patch coming sometime soon. But I could also see us not getting any more.
Nine Act 2 and Act 3 haven't been in the individual studios. They've tested Act 3.
9 is supposed to be the larger. They could have a bug fix if something is severely broken between here and then, but no content. Yeah, no content updates, and no new classes are going to be added. You have to wait for the final release to get all of the races and all of the classes. Yeah.
At the end of the day, they made it early release because they wanted help to build the game, and they've done that through Act 1 for like 2 years now. And then they've handed Act 2 and 3 already to these individual studios here, there, and everywhere that a lot of us could have signed up for. So
let me explain why I am so stoked and excited for this game. And the reason why is that you have main characters. You have like 10 of them. You all get abducted, you get a mind flare tadpole shoved in your head, and then you're all at your own devices trying to figure out how to embrace that power and utilize it, turn to the dark side, so to speak, and be evil, be good. There's all these options, but not only... Okay, so out of these 10 characters, you can choose to be one of them when the game is released. You can be the vampire, you can be Lae'zel, or Lae'zel, and all of these characters are going to have an overarching story to the end of the game, and I want to play through as each one of them and then create my character. After seeing where all those characters end up and what their full story is, I can build a character and then decide how all their stories end up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it the other way around. I'm gonna do it once with a character that I create, and then just see where I end up, and then go through and play all their stories separately.
See, I want to do it differently. I want to experience their story in canon with the choices I make, see where they end up, and then when I make my own. So that's me playing through at least 8 times before I build my own character.
And even with that, the likelihood of you seeing more than 50% of the dialogue in the game is very low.
If you want RPG, if you like RPGs, this is the RPG of the century. It truly is. It truly is.
It's basically playing Dungeons and Dragons with your friend, but the game master being the friends being the character.
It's the closest it gets so far, man. It is the closest it gets. I mean, their predecessor, SPG's told me this, so this is purely his information. But the predecessor, what's it called? Original Sin 2.
Divinity Original Sin 2.
Divinity Original Sin 2. That was supposedly amazing for all the different choices.
My brother-in-law calls it his favorite game ever.
But
Yeah,
this
no,
has got all the same, and then cinematics on top
Yes.
of it that just immerses you so much more.
Yeah, and
The
I would say better
cinematics
combat
are-
as well.
The cinematics are top notch. It feels like a AAA blockbuster story as you're playing through it. It zooms in on characters as you're speaking. Literally, like if you're in a party of 3 people and you're having an important conversation, you might see Ray run in the background with his pants off, beating on a drum, and you're like, "What is going on?"
But then the NPC is like, "What is going on?" And stops talking to you, and the NPC turns to look at Ray.
Yeah. So like at any moment, like any one of your party mates could be like, "This is getting boring," and just bitch slap somebody, and now you're in a fight. Like, or they
I've called a few people. I've got like your stream as well, SVG. I've seen you streaming it a few times, and it does look good. It's not usually my kind of thing, but yeah, it definitely caught my attention watching the streams. So,
it does break it up pretty good for like feeling like you're exploring and finding cool stuff, and then it goes to the turn-based, but you know, turn-based ain't for everybody, trust me, but I think they did a good job though.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like when I did the October, like when John Scar had his October charity event, and I did the let's play 4 people all playing bards being in character at once in one stream. That was, I mean, first of all, amazing stream, and I mean, well, you agree, right, David? It was a fun time.
It was hilarious. It was we should have rehearsed it more, Bjorn. We should have put so much more effort in, but it was great.
But like I mean, I did clip at one point the thing where one of, I think, wasn't it you who were going to try to push an enemy off a cliff, and instead it like missed him and hit both your friends instead, so we fell off a cliff instead. I was like, what are you doing?
It was like Dumb and Dumber and Dumber and Dumbest. It really was.
It was brilliant. So yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, so, but like, the fact that the game allows you to do that sort of shenanigans and just run with it, it's great. Like the last time I streamed the game, I started the game by I played a barbarian. I managed to roll like basically like I think 2 natural ones and my first 5 rolls were all below 5.
Now keep this in mind.
Like I failed a roll which had a like difficulty of 0. The only way you fail that is a natural one, which I got. It was like
this game does such a good job at storytelling that you can have like 8 NPCs waiting back at your camp, like, "Ooh, take me, coach, please put me in," you know. But at some point, you're gonna make decisions and come back to camp, and one of them's gonna go, "Hey, I'm out of here. That was bullshit. I ain't messing with you no more." You know, like, or
replayable. It is
like
so
it's
alive.
so replayable, man. Side with the Goblin sometime and see what happens. I won't spoil it, but it's amazing. Go check it out, man. You'll have visitors show up at your camp a little upset. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if any of you guys play like pen and paper role playing games like D&D or something outside of Baldur's Gate, but like. I mean, I have a group, like me and my wife and 2 friends. We meet up as often as we can, which is like maybe once a month if we're lucky. And we play. We don't play D&D. We play another similar style tabletop RPG, and like the way that this game captures that feeling of sitting around that table and doing like the sort of stupid shit you get up to, like just before, like the last few sessions we had, my character dressed up as an undead king and managed to convince his skeleton army that I was that king, and then almost screwed up by saying, "Oh, you should jump off a cliff," and they were like, "Are you sure you're the king?" Like, "Oh, I'm just kidding.
Would our
Never
king
mind."
do that?
And it's like I managed to get through, and then we got through that like the hallway filled with enemies. You know, it took off the costume. It was like, oh, and because that costume was also like his spirit was trying to break me the entire time, and then I get off and like, great. Now we got to get through another hallway with the rest of the army before we're out of here clear. But like the fact that that sort of shenanigans you can do in this game, and it's captured so well. It's a feat.
The interesting thing about sitting at a table and playing D&D is you're going off of somebody else's cues. So the dungeon master will give you a whole bunch of details. Some of them matter, some of them don't, but it all helps you build a vision in your head of what you're doing. And it's a catch-22. you can describe a small crack in the wall and a goblet at the end of the hallway, and everybody's huddled around that crack. This means something, and you're like, no.
It was just to explain the set the scene.
There's just a crack in the wall. Keep moving.
The amount of times that my group and I have overcomplicated. Like our team is like, oh yeah, and like she's planning like they're gonna go into this room, they're gonna do this thing, they're gonna get out. Like 5 evenings later, we're like, but what if we sneak around the room? Like, we like the amount of stupid position we put ourselves in because we don't think things through properly. We think we do, but in the end we don't. The pen and paper D&D, like tabletop RPGs are amazing, and Baldur's Gate 3 managed to capture that, and I love it for it.
It does really well. And here's something else. The last thing I'll say about it is it uses the 5th edition D&D rules. So legitimately, if you have no idea how to play D&D and you hit the right setting, it'll show you all the dice rolls. So, like, if you don't know how to play D&D at all...
It's a great way to get into D&D.
Yes, it is, because it'll teach you a whole bunch of the mechanics. You can see how the dice rolls, how it equals out to what it's supposed to be. And literally, everybody that's out there that has never played D&D, it is just an adventure that you tell verbally that your friends partake in and decide things. That's
the rules are just there to like framework the thing and make it easier to manage.
Correct. So much fun. Try it out, guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. We should do some like D&D session over.
I would love to, bro. But the problem is that somebody has to learn, because I can DM and I can DM pretty damn good. All my voices sound like fat bastard, but I can do that too. But no, the virtual tabletop, somebody has to like find one that works really well and then learn it. And
I have one that works well. I just
process.
Don't know it yet. I haven't learned it yet, but we should work on that behind the scenes for some future week maybe. Some other news in the gaming industry then. Sony's. Do you guys remember the Project Leonardo, the weird controller thing that Sony put out for accessibility?
The accessibility. Yep.
Yeah, it has a name now. It's called the Access Controller. I think Project Leonardo was 10 times better.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
God bless anybody that can competitively play with that. I have 2 hands and I can't with that. So more power, man. That's amazing to get more accessibility into gaming.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Can I just ask? Does anyone here know who is it geared towards?
I think like if you have just one hand, or if you if you have shakes or things like that.
Yeah, cerebral palsy type. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's basically, it's one of those like if you can't use a controller or mouse and keyboard to game, you still want to be able to game. This could be it. Pretty much like the Xbox accessibility controller.
Mm-hmm. It's really clever stuff, man. It's really clever stuff.
Yeah.
Love to see it's more I will always applaud accessibility things.
Mm-hmm.
So,
110%.
Games are for everyone in the end. As soon as SPG gets back, I'm gonna ask him to give us a voice because I agree with Miss Phoenix. We do want one, right, guys?
No, you don't.
Oh,
He's just going to do some rip-off between me and Scottish. That's what he's going to attempt.
Now that's hilarious, bro.
Yeah. So another thing I found curious. Take-Two has announced that 44% of upcoming Take-Two titles are new IPs, which is
48 games by April.
More than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. By 2026 they expect to release 48 games. So, I mean, a lot of new IPs. I love to see it.
That sounds like a conflict. Like, I'm sorry, what happened to the industry shutting down and games not having as much as investment? And like over the past half year, what have we heard about all these AA games and even AAA games that aren't hitting the mark, so they're going to have to cut back? And now people are saying it just in my head it doesn't add up. I don't get it.
Yeah. So 44% is new interactive property. The rest is new iterations of existing franchises, and that's mobile, console, PC, and numerous business models. We couldn't be more excited. Yeah, fiscal 24 titles looks good. So lots of games coming from Take-Two. Love to see it. Mobile games apparently accounted for 66% of the Apple App Store spending in 2022. With Activision Blizzard Kings, Candy Crush
worldwide?
I think so, yes. And then Candy Crush apparently amassed $660 million in the US alone during 2022 on Apple
Wow.
only,
Wow.
not including Android, just Apple.
So many people.
How's Candy Crush still do it? Jeez,
I was gonna say, so many people speeding their crops up and getting their Candy Crush back on.
I've noticed they've gotten like certain celebrities with their Candy Crush versions.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen the Jonas Brothers Candy Crush commercial just the other day, and I'm like, what?
It's
Like,
crazy.
Honestly,
Like,
Candy Crush.
it kind of like, it was unique when it came out, and there's like so many different copies of it that are better than Candy Crush. So I don't even know. Like, there's other versions that have ripped it off, but done it better, and Candy Crush still
was
keeps going.
original when it came out, mate. It was like, I mean, Bejeweled maybe was one of the
Bejeweled Blitz. I remember that one.
Which is by the way. But like, honestly, like the amount of money Candy Crush brings in is like by far, like, Candy Crush brings in more money than all of Call of Duty, all of Diablo.
It's obscene.
Like, there's nothing like Candy Crush in terms of bringing in money. It's incredibly massive. But yeah, I mean, it's Phoenix's point. What else is to buy on app stores? I mean, yeah, I mean, if you want a note-taking app that could slightly has one feature that the free one doesn't, I suppose that's things like that. But yeah, mostly games at this point. I agree. Next up, we have this next week. We are going to have a lot of PlayStation news to talk about because on Wednesday, the same time that this show starts, but on Wednesday next week, PlayStation Showcase will unveil lineup of PS5 and PSVR 2 games from first and third party studios. They will. It's going to be 1 hour long, and I think that's all we know.
That's interesting. That's something to look forward to. Hey Bjorn, have you considered doing a special show for it?
I'm gonna have to check my schedule if I'm able to. It would be fun to do.
I'm sure there'll be people who'll be wanting to get together and all watch it. I'm sure there will.
I also know like I did get I also almost got invited sort of to to do a one for the Ubisoft one on June 12th. Ubisoft was like, hey, any creators part of our program you want to do like watch-alongs, we'll give you in-game items to for certain games or Twitch drops. So I'm like, I'm supposed to be on a plane to Spain the day after. I'm probably not going to do that. But I am keen on attending. Yeah, we have a weekend in Mallorca to plan for June 13th. So yeah, I'm probably not going to do that, but there's a bunch of I mean, Xbox games have their on June 11th followed immediately by Starfield Direct, as we talked about before.
Yeah, apparently we have a special look at Talking Dogs as well, if anyone's interested.
Talking Dogs.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
That's the name of a movie, Rudigs. It'll write itself. That's all I'm saying.
I think they might announce the PS5 Pro. I think they might mention the PS5 Pro.
Might.
Yeah,
maybe.
Can we discuss that for a second? Bjorn, I would love your opinion on this, man. I'm a PC gamer, and I'm not a PC elitist. I loved Stadia because of no hardware. Nah, David. I'd still be playing on Stadia, man. I would.
I know.
Now, looking backwards, was Stadia like playing through smudged glasses a little bit? Yeah, sure. But I didn't have to buy shit to do it. I just had to buy the game, plug in get the controller set up, and play. That's not the case anymore. And I did buy hardware, but the next gen consoles that are supposed to be next gen, they're not. They're barely. I mean, dude, they can barely play the damn games that are coming out. And they just released information about Unreal 5.2 and a game coming out around the corner and what's recommended. Not minimum. Minimum is like 1080p medium settings, okay? But if you want to go anywhere near 1440p or 4K at medium settings, okay, you're looking at a 3080 Ti recommended. Your PS5 is not a 3080 Ti.
That's pay to play.
Your Series X is not a 3080 Ti, and that's with ray tracing medium settings. So what are you going to get? You're going to get a cut down 30 frames per second, not even look like what the original vision was to make it work on your system. So PS5, in my opinion, the PS5 has to do a refresh. PS5 Pro is needed, and the Xbox is going to have to look at doing the same thing.
And it needs to be a severe step up.
The only thing next gen about those consoles are the NVMe drive that makes it lightning fast to download and lightning fast to load. That's it.
Yeah. Well, you're saying there about digress a little bit when you say there about Stadia. Yeah, it wasn't the best to look at, but in terms of how it works, it goes back to what Ray said before about Game Pass. You're not going to pay $40 for a game to play on GeForce Now on priority because you can play it on Game Pass. Yeah, it doesn't look as good, doesn't feel as good, but it's free. So it's exactly the same as Stadia was. Like you say,
Game Pass is going to be on GFN as well. So I mean,
you're just layering up
they won't say subscriptions, that, but I'm pretty sure it will.
This is just where the gap between those who have got that type of hardware, who've got the cash to get that type of hardware, and those who don't, becomes a little bit clearer, and these games start to branch out a little bit, and it's just, we're seeing it across the industry, we're seeing it across the world, across all industries. Not to get political or anything, fellas, but this is just what's happening.
And I agree with you. Final Fantasy 16 does look beautiful. It is what it is. I mean, they're gonna pump out their marketing and they're gonna sell. I mean, once again, The Legend of Zelda proved to us that you don't need flashy frames per second. You don't need all those graphics to sell. They just blew. I mean, they completely shattered, the record. They shattered the record.
Special. Yeah, and I think it's one of those. SP, I think
Oh.
you're on mute. But
Muted, man.
Sorry. I was going to say you're 100% correct on that. But if you could play Zelda somewhere else, most people might want to play it somewhere else rather than
if I could play
Switch.
Zelda on
I'm
GFN
not saying that's the case.
Or on GFN or on or like on Boostoid or on Stadia, if that was something, yes, I would definitely do that.
Stadia was so awesome to me because the promise of me not having to upgrade my hardware. GFN just gave us the 3080 in the cloud, okay? That is amazing technology. It actually is. It is a 3080 in the cloud.
Yeah.
Frame rate, power, all of it. Stadia could have went in that direction with the next upgrade. They didn't. They shut down. We didn't get that. We never got the next hardware version, but they could have gotten closer.
I mean, they did have like plans for the next 7 hardware generations on like the server side. So I mean, yeah, we definitely could have seen that coming.
You took a ride to the future. And then you took your ass right
yanked it away.
Secret rouster. That's a secret.
No, but like you were saying though before, like, after these next gen games, you can't not actually get next gen on the next gen consoles.
Yeah.
If it just stuck around for about 6 months, as we did get the hardware upgrade for Stadia, that could have been it. But they didn't stick it through. I mean, 3 years is even one generation of a console. Do you mean if they didn't give it time?
That's what I'm saying. So when all these the next gen games that everyone's looking forward to, they're going to be running Unreal 5. They're going to be left behind. They're not going to be able to run them. They're going to have to refresh. And
Unreal 5 games are not coming to Xbox Series X or to PlayStation 5 as they are. They are not coming to
No,
they can't.
Not as they are.
They cannot. They just can't. And that is scary because there's a bunch of people who call that their next gen system who are going to be left behind in the dust in 6 to 12 months.
It's going to be one of those like. And here's the kicker, because I don't think Microsoft wants to do an upgrade. I don't think Microsoft wants to, like, we talked about this before. I firmly believe Microsoft wants out of the hardware game. They want to be Microsoft is a software company, like Xbox is. Like, I think they want to make Xbox a software company as well. They will make like peripherals like controllers and things like that, and like maybe a streaming box. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay. But I don't think they want to make like. I think they might need to make one more. I don't think they want to.
They might want to, but if they put Series X's all over it for the xCloud, who cares? GFN is better. Doesn't have all the games.
Yeah. If they want to get out of. If they want to get out of the hardware game and into the cloud, they need to do something serious with the cloud. They're doing while they've got GFN and Game Pass.
I don't even think they want to be in the cloud game either. I think they want to pivot to being the biggest publisher of games and have Game Pass being the subscription service that every gamer has, no matter where you play. They want Game Pass on every single device, every single cloud service, so that no matter, it's like, if you're a gamer, you have Game Pass because you want to.
And
play.
if they're publishing everything
their
without
goal.
lifting a finger, then they can just outsource to some GFN being the main cloud and give everything
Yeah.
to those, and then still make a
And they
profit.
don't
And
even
it's how
they
the
don't even
industry's
need to
going
put
at
their-
the minute. Everything's residuals, isn't it? Everything's
Yeah.
subscriptions.
And like
everything's...
Xbox doesn't even need to put like this is xCloud and then but it's running on GFN. They could just say, oh, GFN, you can play your xCloud games on Xbox games on GFN or on this. And if you don't have any other thing, we also have this xCloud thing where we have a bunch of games, but not everything, and everyone's gonna be happy with that. Like I think they might need to, because I don't think they're there yet, but I think they might. So I think they might need to put out a refresh. But at the same time, the whole thing with the S and X, I think that puts a massive.
Even more on them. Even more on Xbox. It does.
Yeah, that makes a problem. I think that creates a problem for them. Like how do they do?
What's going to end up happening? I see it coming. And before hardware disappears, you're going to have different layers of hardware. Just like the Xbox now has got the S and the X. If you can go cheap, or you can buy the mid tier, they're going to have a high tier. You're going to have tiers. You're going to have the low tier, the entry level, the game at 1080p, whatever. Then they're going to upsell you, man. You're going to get the medium, and then you're going to have a box that's more expensive.
And if you want to try
handhelds, that's what they're doing with the handhelds.
And if you want to play the next AAA Hellblade 2 next year, well, buddy, buck up, because you need a 4090 or you're not getting in the party.
And it's not fair. It's not. I've got one. It's not fair.
Well.
No, but I'm just saying, like, what's coming down the pike is they're pushing visuals and stuff that the hardware isn't there to back it up, and they're trying to use AI and other things to make it work. And we're running into a wall here on the consoles anyway. They're gonna have to do a refresh. I mean, just look at the PS3, how long that was relevant. The PS4 lasted a long time. This generation isn't gonna make it. It's not gonna go 8 years.
Yeah,
it's not.
No. I mean, but then to pivot back to your original question, if I think we'll see the refresh on the showcase next week? No, I don't think. I think we might see it announced towards the end of the year and dropping sometime in 2024.
It's going to drop when the Unreal Engine 5 games are dropping. It's going to line up. Do you remember when Xbox Ones and PlayStation 4 originally dropped? It was lining up with all the next-gen games like GTA and all that. It's going to line up about the same time. It's going to be the same time.
Here's the thing. I don't think we'll see a new one from Xbox. I think we'll see a PS5 Pro. I don't think we'll see a new one from Xbox. I think
that's a big speculation, Bjorn. Really, you don't think?
Yeah,
PS5...
I think they are the second, like they're probably as we're talking about now. They've realized this as well. They've realized they're gonna have we're gonna either have to release another upgrade, like a mid-generation upgrade, but that will go against their goal of getting out of the hardware business. So I think they will be like, all right, let's instead accelerate. Let's put all the people on the on instead of on getting helping these cloud services get on board with all of our games. Let's help let's build up our own cloud services. Let's build up let's try to close this deal so we can get the king and start working on mobile stuff and then just push.
I agree.
Well, what they need to do if they're gonna have a tiered system, they have to have it be legitimate. I don't want to see somebody go to pay $800 or $900 for a higher end console and it still doesn't. It's pale in comparison. I'm just saying I would hate to see that. I would hate.
Sony might do something like that, but I don't think we'll see that from Xbox. I think Xbox will be. You can use the Series X. If you have a Series S, we're launching GeForce Now app for that, or a Boostroid app, or all of these parts. All of these parts now have an app on the Series S, because it's essentially a Windows machine with. I mean, it has Edge, which is running on Chromium. You can do all of these things already, and then I think they will be doing the S will be you can run lighter games locally, or you can stream higher more high-end games. So you still get value off from having your box. The Series X will be you can play most games on this but it's if you want, but then you can, and then they were and then if anything above that, we're working with Sony trying to get our games on the PS5 and PS5 Pro. And having Game Pass on there, but I mean, and then Sony's gonna say no, and then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, but like that's on Sony. Sony's blocking us for this. We want to give you this.
When it comes to consoles, Xbox is number 3, PlayStation's number 1, or Nintendo's number 1, then PlayStation. They sell units. They push the units. That's why they can say, you know what, we can do a PS5 Pro, and guess what, we're gonna sell. And they're going to sell a bunch of them.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, Sony is a hardware company.
So
Microsoft is a software company.
By like marketing, they can straight up lie to you. Look at laptops, and I always bring this up. Look at laptops. They just released a 4090 version of a laptop, and you know what kind of performance it got? It's got a 3090 level of performance. Now that's mind-blowing to fit a 3090 that's this big into a laptop and to keep the performance as a desktop version. That is amazing, but it's not a 4090 performance in that laptop. It's just a 3090. Why do they call it a 4090?
Yeah, 4090 laptop edition, I think it is. I think they call it, which is like that whole.
But it's 3090 level of performance.
They give it a different name, like a 3090 Slim or a 3090.
Yeah, 4090M means mobile, standing for mobile, which was what it did a couple of years ago.
It's snaky marketing, is what it is. It's snaky marketing, frankly.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, it's geared towards people like parents who are like know a little bit, getting for the kids, and they're just like, oh, well, the 4090 is the latest one. Great, I'll get them this one, but it's not quite. I mean, it's not ticking all the boxes, but it's just enough for them to go in and just, here's your money, getting something from the kid. Thank you very much. I'm out. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, anyone know if xCloud is running on Series X yet? I think
no, I don't think so.
I thought they were running on Series X originally, but I guess that shows how much I know.
No, I think they upgraded to that last year.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I agree with Reaver. I'm not sure, but I think they are.
Since I was aware, from what I heard, they always were. From when I started looking into it, and I was gaming on them, but that could be wrong. I would double check, but I don't know.
It seemingly runs on Series S hardware.
Huh.
Right.
How recent is that a post that you've just found? How recent is that SPG?
Hold on, and I'll tell you. I read the headline.
It's not all we ever do.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
I find myself. I write things something 10 months ago.
10 months. 10 months ago. So who knows what's in there now?
Yeah, who knows at this point?
I love you, bro.
So that's not news.
But it's so bad though. I mean, like having a Series S and it's running on Series S, like Blade Runner. It's still better to download the game and play it. Like a damn sight better, regardless of your internet connection. I mean, you're only getting 1080p. You can't play like multiplayer. It's like couch co-op games you can't do. You need to download it first and play. It looks better, it plays better.
Yeah, where xCloud makes most sense, at least to me, is phone, key, couch, family sharing, and then we play Minecraft Dungeons or Minecraft Legends on our phones next to each other together. Because on mobile the experience is actually pretty good.
But when you consider it next to GFN, like
if I can play a game on GFN, I play it on GFN. If I can't play it on GFN, I play it on Boostroid. If I can't play it on Boostroid, I play it on xCloud.
Xbox's way forward, Microsoft's way forward is outsourcing their cloud to GFN. If they can finagle that in a good sort of way for them.
Honestly, yeah. Like the whole these cloud deals are outsourcing. Like Microsoft are doing the outsourcing of their cloud. Like they signed with them to get the deal through. They're not going to shut down xCloud, I think.
I know it's very different, but Stadia ran circles around xCloud.
Can I just I'm going to leave shortly.
Yes.
I need to
They don't have the... Go ahead.
I need to leave shortly, fellas. I'm going to go rest up with my night. But can I just ask a question on the topic of Stadia, actually, SPG, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Do you think that tech is going to be seen anytime soon in any other companies that we're gaming from? Or is it dead? Like,
no, the tech isn't dead, bro. Dude, they put so much money into the algorithm to make it all work, into the codec. They were about to switch to a new codec that would like, as example, man, AV1 codec right now, 2 weeks ago, I could not stream in 4K. I've only got 50 meg upload. So that means that like for 4K 60, it's like 80,000, which is like 80 meg upload for a solid stream. Make it look beautiful. I couldn't do it. I had 50, and you have to do about half of what your upload is so that you're not shutting your like destroying your bandwidth. So with the AV1 codec, I am able to stream 4K. So think about this. I can stream 4K 60 at 20 megs ups, okay? Before, Stadia said it would take 30, right? Okay, 30 meg is what they wanted. With the new codec, they could have done it with 12.
Right.
12!
Yeah. Right.
Before it was all over. You could talk about the visuals and the games and this and that, but they could have given you 4K 60 with 12 meg download.
Like,
it was happening.
I will never understand the decision to shut down Stadia.
No.
Like,
I do. Every time I game without fail, I think about gaming on Stadia. No matter what, whether I'm playing on the PC, I'm playing on the Xbox, on my phone. Every time I just think, damn, I wish Stadia was still going. It was just the most convenient, easiest way. Yeah, like you said, the fidelity wasn't there. It wasn't like the best to look at, but it was just the easiest way to play a game, easiest thing to jump into.
Now, that's without even discussing the fact that you would get better visuals from it as well. You'd get better compression. Your black levels would be more black rather than running into a dark area and it all starts to, so AV1 is very significant, and we didn't even get that yet. So no, that tech is not gone, and it ain't going away forever. But they're sitting on it like a golden goose.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not getting the golden eggs yet, man. It's just mobile is killing it, and then you have PC and console. Cloud is just not.
Yeah, well, when it comes to cloud, NVIDIA sitting at the big table having a meeting, and GFN stands up and goes, "I think we should do this, guys." They're gonna pat him on the head and say, "Sit down, little guy. We don't need to hear from you."
I know everyone says like
this for us.
And everyone's kind of lost faith in Google and stuff like that. But I'm serious, if you went on the Play Store now and you seen Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Play Store, would you purchase it?
Yeah.
On the Google Play Store?
I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I would. And I would hate myself for doing it, but yes.
Same. If I seen AAA game on Play Store, I'd be in.
That's a good point, Petter. It's a
really
good point. Right, I'm gonna leave now, folks. It's been fun hanging out with you all.
Cheers.
I'm gonna leave on the note of Stadia might be dead, but the community rides on, and all of us.
We all mourn together.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your show. I'm gonna be in the chat. Have a lie down. Catch you later.
All right, man. Bye bye.
See you.
But I was just gonna say, like, I think because I've heard that within the Google Cloud team. I mean, they obviously inherited a lot of the Stadia tech, but there's nothing like the whole white label thing is dead as well. The whole there's nothing it's all on a shelf currently. I think part of it is being used for the AV1 codec, but it's on a shelf.
What I'm saying, xCloud has some work to do. If xCloud was as solid as Stadia was, even if it's running on a Series S, it would still be more compelling than it is now.
Yeah.
Yes.
The key thing for me with Game Pass has not been to buy games. I mean, I've always recommended Game Pass, xCloud people, as it's an add-on for your Xbox, right? But only part of the way there, because if you buy a game on your Xbox, you're playing it, and then you're out and about, you've got your phone, you've got your Kishi, and you think I'll carry on. You can't unless it's part of the subscription. You can't do it on a purchased game, which is annoying. I want to be able to carry on whatever game when I'm away from my TV, not just select games.
I have a feeling that the whole because it feels like Microsoft has sort of taken a step back a bit from xCloud, or they're not really pushing it as much. They're not really creating more features for it anymore. It's been a long we see games coming and going, but it's been a long time since we saw something significantly happen within it. And I think I know also that the whole
seems like they have a singular focus somewhere else.
But the whole, it's like the whole the whole touch interfaces thing that they were working on. I know for a fact that that team has scaled down. The last touch interface game that launched on xCloud was a month ago or if not more, 2 months ago at this point.
But it's all money, isn't it? When they came out and said like Stadia is our biggest competition, Stadia shut down, they probably did just think, put the brakes on a little bit, let's divert our resources somewhere else, because that whole focus now doesn't need to be there. So we can put members of this team and
and to me that sort of like increases my view of like how that the fact that they are trying to move away from hardware in general. I think xCloud's future is sort of like, I guess we'll see what happens. Like we'll keep it around, we'll use it. Like we'll see if we scale it up or if we move it over to someone else. Like what they do with the tech, I think is still undecided. But I think like if like the fact that they're not pushing that hard and the fact that we haven't seen much of like a refresh, hardware refresh. I think Microsoft is trying to pivot into being a massive publisher and having Game Pass being the thing that everyone has. And I think they are right in doing so, because at the end of the day, that's what they know best. If they can make it like a and I think the ROG Ally as well is one of those things. Like it's made by ASUS, but Microsoft helped out. They've been part of that building that, and I think I think Microsoft is going to be maybe doing more hardware partnerships with others. But yeah, they try to get out.
Rouster in the chat's correct. He said it's on Series X hardware. Microsoft Xbox Cloud Gaming Service is now fully powered by custom Xbox Series X hardware, but 1080p 60 frames per second is in streams now, but they have yet to unlock the 4K streams with that hardware. So supposedly it is running on X.
Yeah, and I mean, I suppose that at some point, what I suppose they're doing right now then is they're running 2 instances on one Series X blade.
Oh, that could make sense.
Yeah. And then when they feel like scaling up to it, they can just do. I mean, you get one solo now, and that's gonna seem 4K instead. And then if you're playing an indie game, they can run that maybe if you're playing Overcooked, they can have 4 sessions running on one Series X instead. Because I think that's what it comes down to when you play the whole scale, economics of cloud comes down to scalability, and in the end of the day, and that I mean they have Azure, and just like Amazon has AWS and Google has Google Cloud, those 3 dragons in that field are going to be. I mean, I spent a day last week walking around the convention show floor from AWS, and everyone was talking about. Anyone who wasn't talking about databases and cybersecurity, which was surprisingly many people. I mean, the focus was on how can you, using cloud, save money and increase performance.
Bro, did you see that where Shadow set up their base of operations? It's genius, dude. They bought a water treatment plant, a shut down one. Dude, they did. They used it as a giant freaking AIO, all-in-one water cooler. They do.
Perfect.
And they run all the water through it to cool all the stuff down. It's genius, dude. I'll send you the video if you want.
Yeah, definitely. You'll do that.
It's amazing. Talk about save money.
Yeah, Shadow works great. It's also one of the reasons a lot of people have a lot of data centers in Northern Europe are usually put in the northern parts of Sweden, Norway, and Finland, and not in southern parts of Sweden or Denmark, because up there you not only I think Facebook has one that's right next to a massive hydro plant, but also it's so during the winter months they just use outside air because it's so cold. You don't need to cool anything; just blow some air in from the outside.
Just open the door.
Open the door. Just open the door. It's perfectly fine. It's minus 20 degrees Celsius outside. Let's just open the door and cool everything down.
I sent it to you in a DM on Discord, but if you look at the thumbnail, that is what their GPU looks like, and it's got the water block right on it. They smash 2 GPUs together with a water cooler thing. It's really interesting. It's really cool stuff, man. But they literally bought an old water treatment plant. It's so cool, man.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, you gotta hand it to Shadow. Shadow is there, the whole fact that the latency test that I did with them, 1,600 kilometers, and it's running basically as good as xCloud is. I mean, and I know the Azure data center is in my country at least. So yeah, I mean, Shadow, hats off to Shadow. They have some great tech running there. It is
But thinking
expensive,
outside
but
the
I mean,
box,
for what
though,
it is.
like they would have to cool their servers in their server room. This way, it's done. You know, they can use ambient temperature in the building and use that water cooling solution. It's just genius, man. Just genius.
I think Shadow is like an underrated service as well, just like in terms of like games, because you can play any game. I mean, it's not like waiting for your favorite game to be enabled in the cloud. True. It's just any PC game.
I loved my time with Shadow. Unfortunately, my Shadow. I had a 3-month trial thing to do a review, and I haven't. I mean, it ran out this week. But I mean, I loved it, and
Same here.
It's one of those. The price tag is a bit too high for me to jump back in myself. But if I can manage to convince them to keep giving me access to promote it, I'm gonna do it.
Well, I tell you what, it's the only way. It's one of the only ways to get a desktop production value off your phone. Like,
I mean,
legitimately.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, even like just aside from gaming as well, I used it the other day to edit a video. My PC is doing it. It runs solitaire and the fans are spinning. I've got DaVinci one and that's brilliant.
Like my wife has been writing a master's thesis, and as part of that, she needed her counselor basically said like, oh, you should totally really use this tool for this. It's an open source tool. It's really good for the specific thing you need to do to like in the research part of this. And that tool was, I mean, it was open source, but it was Windows only. She only has a Chromebook. So what I did was basically I installed it on Shadow and logged her in and said like, here you go, use this, and it worked perfectly fine. So like it can be a real lifesaver in that regard as well. So I mean, Shadow, hats off to Shadow. Shadow's great. It's expensive, but you get a lot of you get a lot more than you do from GFN and the likes. So yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it is expensive, but if you're going to get the value from it, do you mean like if you're going to use it for video editing or something high end, if you think that £30 or whatever the equivalent is, I don't know if it's like $30 or a bit more each month, it would take you a couple of years of putting that aside to buy a PC of the equivalent level. So the value is there.
I think Boostroid, I mean, obviously Boostroid is a lot cheaper and a lot more, but also a lot more restrictive in what you can do with it, seeing as it's only games. But I mean, I saw I think it was some sort of like ad on social media from them. It's like, like the monthly cost of Boostroid compared to like the cost of a high-end gaming PC that can run all of these games at this frame rate. Like I think like you could play Boostroid for like 5 years for the cost of one PC, or maybe it was even 10 years. It was like something like I don't know. I think it was 10 years because I did some calculations. I think a Shadow PC costs it's like 5 years. 5 years of Shadow for the cost of a Williams PC, essentially.
Hey, not to mention that by the time you save that money and bought that PC, the one that you're saving for is out of date 5 years down the line. As William can tell us, you're 6 months down the line. Because
Bjorn, I gotta spend $600 more to be top of the line. Okay,
I actually had my company pay for Shadow because I was using Shadow for my job.
I know.
Plus,
I need jobs going.
I had this go pay files and stuff. Hold on, I gotta regulate something real quick.
Yeah, I saw that Stormtrooper. But like, I mean, what I was saying, like Shadow has so much more value to it than just gaming, and it does. And it is really good. I mean, for me, I do wish they would open a data center here in like Northern Europe, because like as I said, the closest one to me is Northern France.
Oh wow, little clip.
But I mean, it's basically the same distance, like between me and Petter, as it is to that data center. And I mean, comparatively, the closest data center for like GFN and Boostroid is, it's 1 hour by bus from where I'm now, or like 30 minutes by car. Like I could get to their data centers in today, or like before midnight probably. Whereas, so latency wise, it's like 5 milliseconds compared to like 40, but still. So yeah, I mean, I hope they get more people signing up for Shadow so they can open more data centers because they are really good.
I agree.
And the fact that you can just use it as much as you want. Like there's no because there are other solutions where you can pay as you go. I did use for a stream back in the day. I did use something called Paperscape. And you basically, which is basically like Google Cloud or Azure or AWS. Basically set up but they had like a pre-baked gaming PC setup, and it was something like $1.5-2 per hour of use, and then on top of that, like $5 per month in like cold storage for your like the hard drive space with your installs, and I mean. If you played like 10 hours, suddenly it was hella expensive. I used it for a single stream, so for me it was like, I don't care. It's not something I would use daily. Whereas in Shadow, you could it's the same thing but better. So
Nice.
But speaking of upload speeds and things like internet speeds, by the way, I did have. A painful realization of one of the many reasons I love cloud gaming. I was playing FIFA gonna play FIFA the other night, and on my PS4, I had a 5.5 gig update. The estimated time to download was 84 minutes.
Whoa!
I have gigabit speeds. I have Google Wi-Fi. Right, the hub is right next to the PS4. It is not on Ethernet because I don't want to have a cable running into the other room. But still, like it's.
But you've got a hard drive, right? A mechanical spinning disc, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be that damn slow, but.
And also, I think like Sony servers has always been bad.
Yeah. And you'll find even on Game Pass, you'll find some that. Zoom, and then you'll grab a game, and you're like, "What? It's still downloading? What's going on?"
It's like, it was just a weird patch. Luckily, I could play without it, but it was still was horribly annoying when I saw that. I was like, I hate local gaming.
FIFA was the last thing like for me, and then the console went because even when I was all in on Stadia, but I had my PS4 for FIFA, and then as soon as FIFA came to the Stadia, I was like, goodbye PS4, because I've come down in the morning. I go to play. Before I get ready for work, quick game of FIFA, turn it on, and then there's an update. Like, not gonna get a chance now. So it was just so frustrating. Like cloud gaming, that's the dream, but people still say no.
So EA, get your games on more cloud services. Get on that.
I think all these companies want to do what all of the other companies already have in the streaming market. They all want their own. EA is going to want their own streaming platform. Yeah. All of them are, man. I think before Stadia closed, Ubisoft was this close from doing it.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that, I think if you wanted to, you could probably reach out to Google and be like, hey, that white label thing you had, could we buy that off you?
Or use it? Because
I know you don't have
Google would have no problem maintaining it for someone else. I'm sure of that.
I think that's my concern. I don't want, because I like a variety of games. You know, like it's like TV streaming now. When you had TV, it was expensive, and then you cancelled it because you got like Netflix instead. But then now everyone who makes shows has got their own streaming service. If you want to watch different shows, you're paying through the nose, like.
And it was crazy. They didn't even have their own properties. Paramount's like, hey, we got a streaming service. Oh, but Netflix have all of our shit, and Disney too. They're like, hey.
So the NFL football out here in America is split up between subscriptions. Peacock, Paramount, this, and this. So if I want to watch
them all.
If I want to watch the Monday night game, I got to watch it on this. If I want to watch the Thursday night football game, I got to watch it on this. And it's like, back in my day, there was 3 channels.
Yeah.
And I could watch this here, I could watch this here. It is...
Yeah.
Well,
luckily,
you still have cable, right?
I don't want...
If you got cable, you got to get that NFL Sunday ticket.
Nah, man, I'm streaming, brother. Straight streaming.
I streamed Eurovision this weekend.
Oh my god,
I didn't want to bother
amazing. Some of those bands, dude, I did catch some of that.
I haven't had cable. I haven't had cable
for Finland though, but
I haven't had cable in 20 years. I've
never had cable.
I haven't
Period.
had a home phone, in like 20 years. Magic
My parents
Jack,
had
man,
one.
it sounds stupid, but you can buy that for 5 years of local and long distance for like $80. I've never had a home phone here. Yeah, man, I don't know. I won't pay for cable. I don't want to pay for commercials I don't want to
Yeah.
see.
I
No
agree.
way.
They
No
got
way.
me. My wife has her shows. My son has his cartoons and his shows, and then I have my sports and my shows, and they're all on this and this and this
Yeah.
and this and this.
But that's how it's going to be with gaming, and it's just
Yeah.
going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't want that. To me, I just want
I don't either.
one service. I could just pay for one service. I just buy the games I want to play.
I think that's one of the reasons why I think Microsoft is really clever. That they are doing Game Pass everywhere, because then it doesn't matter. Like because then it doesn't matter if if you have Luna or GFN or Boost or any of or EA's cloud services. Like, oh, and you also have Game Pass. Oh yeah, sure, you can play all of those games here. Why not? And because that means everyone is good. Like if this continues and everyone, we end up with like 50 different cloud gaming services for each different publisher. I think Xbox is going to be like, oh, and then everyone has Game Pass, and then you have like one or two others.
You know what's hilarious though? Way back when GFN first started, if GFN was never smacked on the wrist, for us, we just log in like we would with Shadow and we have all of our games, we wouldn't even be talking about these other cloud platforms right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, the funny thing, I mean, yeah,
they never would have been able to gain Steam
and legally
as much.
They
anyway.
were in the clear. Like,
no, I know.
So
Yeah,
the
I
reason
agree.
they backed off was because obviously because Nvidia is a big company, has partnered with all these companies, and they were like, if you don't take our games down, we're gonna go with AMD for the next set of games.
Yeah.
And of course they didn't want that. Whereas,
right,
which is like whenever someone's like, oh, well, like how can Booster do these things that's illegal? It's like, no, it was never legal. It was just for Booster, they don't have a different business that depends on having a good relation with it. Like if 2K is like or if Activision is like, hey Booster, take down Warzone, it's like we don't, like, the only thing we do is we have
they own it already. They're just playing it,
they are in the clear. So
like they probably would have won, but what would that have done to the internal industry? Yeah,
exactly. So like GFN, like I guess I understand why Nvidia backed off, and it's also, I love the fact that we do have another service that allows you to do just that with Boosteroid, and sure, they don't have all the games, but you can't install anything.
Well, at the time I had a Core i7 44 or 47 something, and I had a 970, and I would rather have played GFN on my Shield at the time. And then Stadia come out and said, hey, look at all the places we're gonna have data centers. And I was like, if GFN works and they've got like 6, let's do this, and I was all in on Stadia, man.
And it works great.
Same. Like I say, as much as there are like multiple cloud gaming services now, there isn't anything that fills that void that Stadia had. There's Luna, your subscription service, there's Game Pass, and then there's PC streaming services, but I just need that console in the cloud. Someone wrote a really good article on cloud dosage actually about it. I don't know who it was. I want that console in the cloud experience again. I crave it. I just want someone to step in and do it.
Yeah, and Luna's the closest one, but that's too much like cable, and also not available here. I did manage to get a comment out of the head of Amazon Web Services for Nordics, Benelux, and Baltics. So basically, Northern Europe, like anything Germany and above. She's the head, like the man, like the CEO of Amazon Web Services for that. And she was like, and I managed to find her in this convention. So I was like, so Luna, when are we getting it? She was like, that's actually a really good question. I'm gonna take a look at that, maybe see if we can't get that. Like the reason they haven't, like, she did say, like, we compared to maybe some of our competitors, when we enter a new region, we don't close down. It was a nice little jab at Stadia, but just like competitors, I get it. But yeah, but like they do want to bring Luna to more regions. It seems like, but it is one of those like, it's a lot of planning. It's a lot of like, can we justify the costs of launching these? Yeah, I mean, I did sneak up to her while she was playing, playing air hockey with one of her colleagues, and like, so like second she was on like, so I just have a one question, and like, so Luna, so, and honestly I didn't expect to get an answer at all, so I mean I'm happy with the answer I got.
So,
Yeah.
Luna, sausage, how's it made? Wondering.
Yeah, so about that Luna sausage, it's the biggest moon. Yeah,
Great
and,
segue.
yeah. Speaking of sausages, Overwatch 2 did just PvE hero mode, and I know Jem is really sad about that. I saw him tweeting like that. Jem tweeted something along the lines of, "The only thing that had me interested of ever going back to Overwatch 2 was this, and now it's gone."
Yeah. But
Come
Jem is still going to deliver on PvE on the Pixel Mancer though, so we're all good.
Yeah, I mean Pixel is getting. I mean, Blizzard, what the hell are you doing? Seriously, like they currently currently I don't understand why Microsoft wants to buy Blizzard. I get Activision with all their IPs. I get King. Blizzard. Who wants that at this point? But maybe that's just me. Are you guys any, like do you guys play Roblox? Do you have kids who play Roblox?
My
Yeah, my daughter
loves Roblox. My son loves Roblox.
My son loves Roblox, or rather, my son loves watching his favorite YouTubers play Roblox. And he keeps nagging me like, "Dad, I want Roblox." I'm like, "You're never getting it. You're never getting a Roblox." Like, big fat no. And I mean, they are like children's advertising. Watchdog takes aim at them now. They also have this whole problem where kids create games inside of Roblox, and then they sell them to others for the in-game money. But that is in the end real money that goes into the hands of the Roblox company, meaning meaning that is technically, or like that could be argued that is child labor, because they're benefiting off work of kids.
It's really bad, like the kind of thing you just spend money on there. Do you mean it's not just like cosmetics and stuff? Obviously there are cosmetic parts to it, but there are games where you have to like pay to play them, and it's like within the game, it's like,
pay to win as well.
Yeah.
Because these creators, they get in-game cash to play maybe their favorite game if they have a pay-to-win game that people spend in-game money in. So it's like a whole different economy, maybe mostly done by and for kids, and it's kind of horrible. And yeah, good that they're being looked into. I like that. Applause for that. So yeah, I don't like Roblox. That's the end of that. That's it. And I've never played it, but I've seen way too much.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, and speaking of
he scored a goal for Saudi Arabia yesterday.
Oh, did he? I didn't.
Yeah,
miss
it was
that.
a pretty big goal.
Speaking of FIFA and Ronaldo and also illegal stuff, so you guys know that also that the Austrian government had a lawsuit against.
Well, they don't
FIFA
want
Ultimate
children participating in a casino? What?
Yeah, but basically, PlayStation asked the person who sold it are obligated to refund some FIFA Ultimate Team packs after ruling that they constitute illegal gambling.
Some.
Yeah, some. There was some specific, but this also like creates a precedence that you can't, like, loot boxes are illegal gambling in Austria, and that will ripple across the world, I hope.
Nice.
So yeah,
serves
a
them
win
right.
for the industry, but not for EA and FIFA.
This sounds ridiculous, but I was stoked for a game called Shadow of War. Since you're bringing up Lord of the Rings, I was stoked about Shadow of War coming out, and they almost ruined the game. They definitely got controversy at launch for inserting loot boxes, and your orcs would pop out of loot boxes. It was quite atrocious. But
but then they did at the end, like after like 6 months or so.
They pulled it out. They absolutely
patched
removed it
that
from the
away.
game.
After they had gained some money off of it, of course. But yeah, good. It's good that it finally got out of the game. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, yes, Embracer Group nowadays owns Middle Earth Enterprises, and therefore the license to Lord of the Rings, which is. It's something I never thought would happen. Like, I would never thought a Swedish company would own the rights to Lord of the Rings, but they do. And as such, they have now made a deal with Amazon Games and Amazon Games will create a MMO based set in the Lord of the Rings franchise.
Not now. Are they going to tie it into the Rings of Power? And it'll be a Rings of Power MMO?
I don't know.
I mean, it could be interesting. I don't know.
I'm expecting a new world meets Lord of the Rings, and honestly, I'm
Miss Phoenix. They do it sensual. They do it deuceable.
Wow.
True Lies. Go see the movie if you haven't. It's great.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and are you guys interested in a Lord of the Rings MMO?
I think it could be all right.
Kind of, but I don't know.
I got to see some video.
Like Wilson was discussing earlier, man. There's MMO fatigue, there's multiplayer fatigue, and there's battle royale fatigue.
Yeah.
Just saying, there is.
Yeah. If it's done really, really well, which it won't be,
Right.
and it's unique, which it won't be, and they don't just destroy the franchise, which they probably will, then I'll be interested.
Yeah, but everybody's trying to strike that Fortnite gold, man. And some are missing out. They're trying. They're really trying, and they're striking out.
Yeah.
And there's people. Hopefully, we'll see.
I mean, look at Skull and Bones, just as a good example. They focused more on multiplayer and just didn't even think the game was an afterthought. It's not final thoughts or anything like that, but you feel more like a ocean cleaner than a damn pirate. You do.
I don't know, man.
You can do it with friends, though. Woo!
I mean, there's everybody's different. Everybody's different. I don't know how my son can sit here and keep playing Fortnite over and over, and it's just Dead Miles Morales. I know, but you play the same gun. You go to the same effing map. It's just the skin. It's just, I know, it's so cool. It's so cool. Dead Miles Morales. Oh my God. Star Wars.
And Darth Vader.
I'm like, that is freaking genius. And they're making billions.
Yeah. They tapped into the nostalgia, and I don't know who they paid or how they sold their soul, but they've got access to all the IPs, man. They make deals with everybody.
I think they managed to become so big that everyone just wants
everyone, whether it's SpongeBob or Darth Vader, they just don't.
Mary Poppins coming down with an umbrella and a gun. I mean, they could do it. It's just anybody.
Yeah, it's just too big to fail at this point. It's just,
yeah.
It just keeps people interested somehow.
Rouster, this is not what Miss Phoenix was talking about, but I do want to show it because I discovered this like today. The fact that this exists. So check out Frostbite Orc Kings on YouTube. It's a AI metal band.
Wow.
With orcs doing metal.
I'm sold. I'm already sold. Yeah. They got me.
Hey. I'll buy tickets to the metaverse now, okay?
I'll buy tickets. Like, there are no actual musicians by this. This is AI creating music.
Okay. And I was going to say, if there was like real people in the metaverse,
and it's orcs singing about, just the whole... The fact that this exists is amazing. Just wanted to have that mentioned. I can't not mention that when
now that's metal.
I'm sold.
They have apparently also done like reaction videos now. That AI is creating. I think the music is created by AI too as well. Yes, and then that AI has also then created done reaction videos, which is just a parody of it's great.
Hey, if you want to see something interesting, look up AI making Will Smith eat spaghetti. It's nightmare fuel. It's nightmare fuel because it can't figure out his mouth. It's awesome. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Just don't watch it late at night with the lights off.
There was also this news that the European Commission has approved the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal, and the CMA was like, "Yeah, we still disagree," and that's all we can say on that matter, because no one wants to talk about that more. Let's see, what else do we have to mention? Right. There is if you missed it before Christmas, and you have an account at Epic Store, Death Stranding is now free to claim for a week.
Yeah.
So there you
Yeah.
go. Free now. Death Stranding again. If you didn't catch it last time, now it's a great chance.
Is that just the base, or is it the director's
Just the base
cut?
game.
That's
Okay.
just the base, yeah.
Yeah, it's a base game. So yeah, definitely worth checking that out. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings
Sorry, I
Goblin
couldn't.
is launching next week.
I couldn't resist. I've just been watching the Will Smith.
It's nightmare fuel, bro.
I'm back. Gollum launching yet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gollum launching in 1 week exactly. And it will be launching on DFN. We know already. So yeah, this could be good. I don't know. Look forward to trying it out at some point.
Yeah, a very different game than I was wanting. I wanted to fight orcs and all that. I thought it was going to be like the third game of the Shadow series, but it's not. But hey, I do like Gollum. I love Lord of the Rings. I love the lore. I'll check it out for sure. And this is supposed to be very, very much from the works of J.R.R. Tolkien. Like the backstory to what happened to Gollum, that's what you're gonna play through, like the actual tale.
Yeah, it's like his journey from. I think it's like the story in between, like what happens to him in between. That isn't covered by the books or movies. And yes, I agree, Reaver. Windrose, I discovered them like last month. They're not just giving off Lord of the Rings vibes. Like they have explicitly said like it's an Italian metal band. They basically dress up as dwarves. They're dwarves from the Lord of the Rings. So they're like, what if dwarves from the Lord of the Rings made metal? That's Windrose.
Nice.
And they made a cover of that of a song called I think it's a meme song in the beginning, like I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole, dig a hole. They have a cover of that, which is great.
I read that so wrong.
What do you mean with an impression? Yes, Precious. We can definitely spit like all of the rest of the show if you want to. Yes, Precious.
That's good. That's good.
Nice.
Oh, we didn't get Fat Bastard.
Yeah, fantastic.
No, we didn't get Fat Bastard.
Go, voice.
You gotta be Fat Bastard.
No. Keep going.
Oh, come on, man.
No.
Ooh.
Wilson's not here. I gotta hear his voice.
Yeah, we
first.
can't do it without Wilson. That's true. That would be rude to him. Mortal Kombat 1 was announced.
Yes.
Yep. Looks Mortal Kombat like. It was brutal deaths, and that's what we like. Yeah.
I saw like the headline earlier. Like oh cool. I'm gonna look into that. I haven't had time to look into it at all. So I think Ray, you're the one who's most excited, right?
Yeah,
Tell us
man.
what's the deal here?
I'm just somebody said, hey, go check out Mortal Kombat 1. And I was like, what? And I just looked on Twitter and I saw it was trending. And September is not too long ago, but I guess it's basically Mortal Kombat 1 with
remake?
the regular, with like a remake, with Kung Lao and all the characters and stuff, and Katana and Melina and Goro. I don't know. I got to see some more. Oh my god, look at that.
Yeah, there's a full trailer, like brutal death scenes.
I just want to do the Liu Kang bicycle kick.
Yeah. to be fair though, this isn't Mortal Kombat. This is no remake of Mortal Kombat 1. This isn't Mortal Kombat 1. This is Mortal 1 Kombat.
Mortal 1 Kombat.
I don't know. I gotta really check into it. But I mean, just looking at the and then I don't know if this is like actual game. So I don't know what the actual game is. But
yeah, we guess
I love anything Mortal Kombat. I love.
Yeah. And lastly, I do want to bring up this friend of the show, Matthias, who was here last week, and I'm sure I'll try to get him on as often as I can because I love having. He's great. He, as we discovered last week, has a Rogue ally already. It's the review unit that he might have to send back in a couple of weeks. But he has been playing a bunch of different games on it, trying it out, checking performance, and I think if you request, if you go on Twitter and to the handle at Asus_ROG_ally, you can probably ask him like, hey, could you try it? Like, how does this game run? And if he has it, he'll probably try it out for you. But he did try out GeForce Now. Givers Now hooked him up through me, hooked him up with a Givers Now Ultimate tier, and he did try Monster Hunter Rise, and he says that it runs very good natively on the Ally, but with Givers Now you don't have to. You can, I mean, you can run it on maximum graphics. You don't have to install it. You can save that storage for something else. And he said it was working great, and also battery life, much more battery efficient as well. So he really liked it.
So just so you know, Bjorn, Rokk actually reached out to me and they asked me, has my wife said yes to it yet? They watched the show, and
Nice.
they watched the last show, and they said, hey, just wanted to let you know, did your wife, did she say yes? Because on the show, I was like, I don't know, man. I gotta ask my wife. You know, we got a Best Buy account, and I gotta, you know, ask her and stuff. So that was really, really cool of them. But yeah. They really follow you. If you like some of their stuff on there, they, you know, they'll give you a like back. Or
to be clear, this isn't the official ROG Ally account. This is our friend Matthias, who was here last week. His account, which is. I mean, it's not official profile, but he managed to snag the handle that they probably want. So who knows? Maybe they reach out to him and try to buy it off him at some point.
What?
Just send me a couple of those. Like 5 fall off a truck, you can have it.
What?
Yeah. No, that's him. That's not the actual account.
Oh my god.
The actual Asus.
Ray's like, I thought I was this close to getting to Rokk, man. Come on, bro.
He managed to
your name, bro.
He managed to snag that before Asus snagged it, which is impressive. Yeah. So I mean, he's been trying a lot of games. If you want to see how stuff runs on the Ally,
you know what I want to do?
Better feed.
I want to do some GFN cloud gaming on it, and I want to see if OBS can run and capture in the background, because I think it can do it.
Yeah. I don't think I'm not sure if he has done that yet, but he has done some video editing on it. And he says he basically the DaVinci Resolve runs great on it.
I'd be trying to benchmark that as a desktop as much as possible, just to see what kind of use you can get out of it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, currently he's apparently on vacation in Norway in a cabin with only a bed and nothing else, basically, and using the Ally and wireless mouse and keyboard. And I'm jealous. Like, that looks like a great setup.
Wow, nice. Yeah, I see he's got the keyboard. He's got the keyboard and a mouse with it hooked up.
Yeah.
He sent the picture.
Yeah, nice. that's a nice setup. And then look at that. That's the Resolve running on there as well. Yeah, doing some editing and uploading. So yeah,
How good is his eyesight? I'm old. I'm like this.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's a 7-inch screen, which is streaming from it.
Hey, if you ask anybody, that's 7 inches is enough. Of a screen.
Oh, I make 7 inches. I'm not folding it off for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, he did answer someone about streaming. Streaming from it to Twitch, etc. is possible. We'll get some performance checks, proper tests done soon. So yeah, if you're interested in the ROG Ally, I mean, it's not an official account, but it's a good account to follow.
Dude, I thought that was them. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, I think he since has added this is a non-official profile that's not affiliated with Asus in any way.
I gotta check.
But yeah, it's great.
Might start a fire at that FPS.
Yeah. But lads, with that, we've gone a full 2 hours, and I don't know about you guys, but it's getting late over here, and I should hit the sack soon. So let's go check in with everyone. Petter, how's this week looking for you? You gonna have anything fun planned? Anything you want people to know about?
No, I'm gonna try and do a stream because it's just a case of as and when for me. So I am over the weekend to try and do a couple of streams because there's some keys I've been sent to do some first looks. So yeah, I'll give that a go. So Petter Games, check it out.
Yeah, nice. SPG, what about you?
Oh, well, tomorrow at 12 CT, we're going to be playing some more Among Us, and we'd love everybody to show up and try to airlock Ray or see who's being sus and try to win. And then this Sunday, we have Nads and we have Rudigs on Retro Rewind. It's going to be a lot of fun catching up with them and hearing about their personal gaming history. I'm super excited.
Nice. Ray, what's in the pipes?
just like he said, Retro Rewind Sunday, Miss Tracy, Jeff, William, myself with Rude Diggs and Nats. And then Saturday night, I do my Rec Fest with my friends. Everybody's wants to join. It's like adult bumper cars where we just crash cars on one another and act crazy, and it's a lot of bantering. And then I do my GeForce Now stream. Don't know what GeForce game I'm going to pick, but looking forward to that. But thank you. It's been really cool being here with Petter, being with you, Bjorn, and
thank you so much for joining, guys.
Awesome show. And the chat was amazing. Thank you. And Miss Phoenix and Crystal is suspect. Remember that when we play Among Us tomorrow. They're sus.
Yeah, nice. As for myself, I don't really have any plans for the couple of this next week. I guess we'll see.
Bjorn, I think you would be super good at gaslighting people. You should come play with us
yeah,
sometime,
I should.
bro.
I'm unfortunately having dinner with some friends who I haven't met for like 3 months tomorrow, so I can't join. But maybe next week. Who knows? Yeah, and I mean, if you are in any shape or form interested in board games and have kids who may be interested in board games, I do want to shout out my own video that I posted yesterday, which is a review of a board game designed for kids that everyone should own. It's a legacy board game, meaning that every time you play it, you unlock more stuff and like the game changes. Which for kids is like they get so hyped when they get to open an envelope with something secret inside with that opens up more pieces of the game. And it's a really good, simple game. It takes like 15 minutes to play, really fast to set up. It's a great board game called Zombie Kids. So yeah, check out my video and then go get the game because it's amazing. Because everyone needs more board games in their lives. And with that,
I agree.
Have a great evening, great night, great day, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.